Another day, another video, and another car. Today we have purchased a new to us BMW 328, the E90, E9X, whatever generation. It's 2011, has I got it with 102,500 miles ish, and it's X-Drive. And look at her. Look at this car. So we were looking to replace the Scion. This kind of fell in line with what we were looking for. Before everyone asks, no, we didn't want to go up to the 35. One, maintenance would be more expensive, probably. Two, we just need it. Well, my brother just needs it as a run-around car for the next couple years of college. Three, I would say gas mileage is about the same, so I can't really factor that in. But insurance is $75 more on the 35, the VIN number I gave her, versus this. And yes, the coupe is more expensive by about $50, which is insane. So we got this car. And if anyone's wondering, he's 20 years old. He has a clean driving record, and they want $140 a month for this full coverage, $300,000 policy. If anyone's wondering, I know people like to ask about insurance and how much they're paying because all the rates are crazy, and we're through State Farm. But back to this, we got this car. One owner owned it his whole life, bought a private party, drove to Illinois to get it. Nice guy. It's had from what I can see, a good maintenance history for a 13-year-old car. It needs some things, but otherwise, I've been driving it around. It's great. It's phenomenal. So this car is so fun to drive, and I understand why people love it. We looked at a F30 generation. He drove it. He didn't like the way the steering felt. He said it was kind of dead. It felt like a Prius almost. This is night and day different. Feels more substantial than my G20, my newer 330. Steering wheel's heavier. It's just cool. So we'll do a walk around. Exterior wise, it's an 13-year-old black car. It's not bad. There's no rust. There's no real damage on except for the front. I'll show you guys. But otherwise, the car's in great condition. I bet you a paint correction would make this thing look brand new. We did just get the windows tinted. Shout out to Tint Studio in Mequon. I have a video coming out on that. Owner was nice enough to show me the ropes and show me what he does. But we did 35% all around. The windshield has not been touched yet. We're going to do 70 or 80% for that, just so that it can stop the sun from cooking you alive. But otherwise, side windows are tinted, and I think it looks great. I told my brother, he can do whatever he wants to the car, but I wouldn't recommend just blacking out the rims. I think the silver really kind of makes it pop. We ordered a black grille for it, but I think the silver rims are pretty good, honestly. I like the design. Classic BMW. So it's 2011, so you get the LCI taillights. I think this trunk needs new trunk struts. One thing I noticed, there's no pass-through. Apparently, that was an option, but the trunk holds itself up, but I don't think it's supposed to do that. I think it's supposed to go all the way up, and then after it shuts. Dual exhaust on one side. This side's all in good condition until you get to the front, and right over here he bumped a pillar or something. I don't really know, but he tried fixing it, as you can see. It also cracked the lower grill by the fog light, so that's gonna get replaced, as well as that one, probably from rock chips. It's just very brittle already. Grill's gonna get replaced. Hood's in good condition, just a couple rock chips here and there. It's not a big deal. That's just dirt too. It's not even a rock chip, but here, that's just dirt. So it's in very good condition otherwise. The mirrors are not worn, the paint on them. These probably need to get replaced with nicer ones. The rear, man, forgot this car does not have comfort access. Peasants. Rear is in good condition. As you can see, there's a bottle of coolant right there. No, it's not leaking coolant. It's not burning anything. I bought the coolant to top off the reservoir, and also because I want to have a jug on me in case of an emergency. So I just went ahead and bought a jug and topped off maybe 2 ounces, 3 ounces of coolant. Otherwise, the rear is in excellent condition. I think that the exterior is about an 8 out of 10 for taking in what year it is. The interior, I think, is 9 out of 10. Interior, the doors feel so solid. So, windows, got a sticker on them. Door panels are all good. Seats are all good. It was so hard to find one with a sport package, almost impossible to find one with a sport package. So we ended up with the regular package. The seats are still comfy though. And before we make our way around, let me just pop the hood and show you guys a couple things. So we're gonna go over what's under the hood, what the interior, and then we'll go over what's wrong with the car, what it needs. So doing my inspection, I was looking around at a bunch of different models. I looked at like a bunch of them from different dealerships, and I learned what would look like it's leaking and what looks like it's not leaking. So this one, the valve cover gasket, look down there, it's dry. The other one was vomiting oil all from around here, up here. This looks kind of dirty and like grimy. It's not leaking. The other one I saw was leaking from this crack right here all the way down. This one's not leaking. It's bone dry. The engine's just covered in like dirt and like oily grease, I guess, but it's probably from this thing. So this what's it called? Power steering reservoir. The O-ring's leaking. I actually cleaned off all of this yesterday on the top, and as you can see, it's leaking again. I hope the camera's catching that. It's leaking again right there. I can't even see the screen because the sun's burning me, but I got a new O-ring on order, so thankfully we know it's the O-ring. It's not cracked or anything, which is cool. Filters are both good. Check those when I was doing my inspection. Car's overall in great condition. Headlights are not fogged up. The halo, the angel eyes work. Everything works on the car. It's black. The nice thing about black cars is they look cooler. The bad thing about black cars is that they get dirty. Interior wise, let's get you guys inside. OEM BMW floor mats. No comfort access, like I said. Got it started up like a peasant. Otherwise, the car is in very good condition. No lights on the dash. I've put about 400 miles on it since I've gotten it. This one does have iDrive. Cup holder does work. That one doesn't. We have it on order. This one does work though. Heated seats, dual climate control. Everything works as it should. It's clean. Seats are clean. Door panels are clean. It's kind of weird because it has the interior is completely black and then the headliner's gray. It's BMW. You got to get the anthracite with a package or standalone or whatever BMW's been doing as of recently. But otherwise, this is a great cockpit. Steering wheel is clean. It's not worn. It's not damaged. Nothing's wrong with it. When I did buy this car, I did plug in I have two OBD2 port scanner thingies. One's a VPeak and the other one's the MHD. I plugged them both in and I opened up Beamer Link and I scanned all of the ECUs in this car for everything. And the car came back with, what was it? One code, I think. There was something in, I don't remember if it was a code or not, but there was one code for a faulty brake light. Now, it wouldn't pop up here, but it said it was a faulty brake light, but the left brake light, but it worked, so I think it was just not reset. Otherwise, there was nothing that stood out to me. Everything else in the scan ran good, but otherwise, the car is in good condition. I got one owner, guy drove it to the airport and back. Low miles for the year, for it being 13 years old. It should have like 150,000 miles if you do the 12,000 miles a year. He was driving at about 8,000 miles a year. That's where he saved the miles. Now to get to what's wrong with the car. So like I said first, that cup holder does not work. Not a big deal. We ordered a new one. On the outside, there's that damage. We're gonna leave it. We're not gonna fix it. It's not worth it. Tires are brand new. They are a random brand. They're Mastercraft Walmart brand. They're like $150 tires. They're not bad, but we'll think about replacing the rims maybe when the tires go bad. That's how not worried I am about the tires. The brakes all around need to get replaced. What I'm thinking is I think he just put pads on the older rotors, and I think the rotors are just getting cooked. I don't know, because the pads show like 60% life. And they look like they have at least half their life left, but as you can see, the rotors are all scored and nasty. The rears are worse, actually. It brakes fine. It feels fine. You don't feel it grinding or anything, but the rears are worse. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see. What is it? Oh, what does this do? Oh, that's the exposure. Cool. Learn something new about your iPhone every day. So the brakes are bad. They're all going to get replaced all around. There is a hum at highway speeds coming from the front. My mechanic thinks it's just a wheel bearing. They're all Preston wheel bearing fitting thingies, so he's going to take care of that. The water pump and thermostat, the original owner said he's never touched them. This car has 100,000 miles, so we are going to touch them. We're going to replace both of them, just preventative maintenance. The other thing we're going to be doing, brakes, thermostat, water pump, wheel bearing. Everything else is fine. We're going to replace the head unit. It's nothing that's wrong with it, but we're going to put an Apple CarPlay head unit in the car. Again, we just got the windows tinted, so she looks good. There was something else we were going to do. Brakes, water pump, thermostat, oil change. We're going to get that just knocked out. Now, I don't know when he did the oil change. The car says 6,000 miles, but when I ran BeamerLink, it said the last oil change was done like 8,000 miles ago. So I don't know, but I'm just going to do it just so I know that the oil's good. There's no dipstick where I can check the quality of the oil or the color of the oil at least. So I'm going to replace it so that I know that it's good. Once we do the brakes and everything like that, he looked at the lower suspension. He said the lower suspension is fine. He did say the lower control arms have a little bit of play in the back. So I just told him to swap those out anyway, because I'm going to do an alignment on the car. Because why not? The steering wheel is maybe like 3 degrees off. So I'm just gonna we're gonna make sure the suspension's all good, do whatever we need to do in one shot, and then knock that out. And what is it? There's something else. Oh, there's no leaks in the car otherwise, wrong with it. But I'm it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm brain farting right now with the last thing that we were gonna do to the car. Transmission fluid. So BMW says these cars have lifetime fluid, but what they describe as lifetime fluid is, from what I've read online everywhere, is that it's BMW calls lifetime 100,000 mile fluid. So this car's 103,000 miles. It shifts perfect, beautifully. I know a lot of people on the internet are like, well, if it's not doing anything, don't touch it and blah, 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 blah. But it's preventative maintenance. I'd rather just get it done now. I don't want to wait till it's 180,000 and then I'm like, yeah, maybe you should get it done. Maybe I shouldn't get it done. No, I'd rather knock it out now. Get the transmission fluid. I'm not going to do a flush. I'm just going to do a drain and fill just to get some fresh fluid in there. But it has 100,000 miles in the fluid, so why not? I'm just waiting for the dealership to get back on me for that, or on that price. I've seen it range from $300-$400 to $600-$700-$800. So we're about to see what they say. If it's something crazy, I'll have my normal mechanic do it. I was gonna have the BMW do it because I know they have the right fluid. Not that I don't trust my mechanic, but it's just easier to get it all done by them. And they have it has 2 recalls. That's the last thing. It has a recall for the Vanos bolts, which need to get tightened or adjusted or something like that. And then it has a recall for the steering wheel airbag. So we're gonna get that done. So it's just easier. I'm gonna do all the maintenance by my mechanic in a week and a half from now, and then I'm gonna check how much the dealership wants for their oil. Because my mechanics, I just do it by the dealership because, they're gonna charge him the same price as he's gonna be paying for the oil, damn near, for BMW's specific oil or ZF's oil or whatever it is, which is apparently expensive, or apparently GM's oil, whatever transmission this car has. And he's like, yeah, it's just easier if they just knock it all out. So we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna have them do a alignment on their rack on the car. But otherwise, the car is perfect. It is so fun to drive. The steering wheel is heavy. I can see why people were saying it's kind of hard to palm it, as you just saw me turning it. But it's so linear. It is so smooth. It's a complete different driving experience than my 3 Series. It's more akin to my old F10, but even heavier. The steering is even heavier than that. And it's cool. I love it. I'm here for it. This car drives great. It's fun to drive. And it's quite powerful for what it is. Again, it's not as fast as my newer one, and it's an older i6, but it scoots. It moves out of its way. But we're gonna head to Chick-fil-A and get a drink because it is boiling hot outside right now. So I'm just gonna park right here, curbside orders, and we're gonna back out and park somewhere else. Okay, thanks for tuning in, guys.